Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be doing a quick tour of a balcony room located in the MSC Magnifica. And walking right off the bat, you can see that there's this small hallway here, which contains access to your closet, which has a ton of, I would say, abundant storage spaces compared to what I'm normally comfortable with. So we have this really large whiteout closet here where you have about enough room to fit, I would say, 3 carry-ons, 4 maybe if you were kind of stacking them this way and putting them on top. You could also fit some really sizable large suitcases. Now from a height perspective, I would say definitely a large suitcase will probably hit here, which will start bleeding into some of that storage from your clothes that are being hung up. But you do have a ton of storage space from hanging up your stuff, but honestly there isn't many hangers here, so a little bit confusing in regards to when we have this huge storage rack. I'm sure you can ask for more there if you really need that. Now right off the top, we do have our life jackets, but you can squeeze some more stuff up there if you really need more space. So go ahead and close that here. Now this is, I would say, a really nice way to stay organized. We have a little tight spot up here for maybe some hats, some shoes, a nice bag here, bag storage, some other miscellaneous things. Obviously, you do have a safe here to store your valuables. Now we have a ton of different cabinets, drawers here. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So that's quite an abundant amount of space. You can see here, I would say it's like a little bit bigger than a shoebox, so you can fit a ton of stuff and organize that. You definitely, if there's 2 people here, you should have plenty of storage to be able to store all your things and stay organized. Maybe with 4 people, and I will say even in the interior rooms without the windows, I've the same layout, same closet storage system there as well. Now on the right side, we do have a thermostat you can adjust, one of the more traditional thermostats, but there's still a fairly good amount of levels to be able to adjust that as well. We have your master controls and your switches, turn on the light, so be able to control that. I do wish there was one more switch here. You can have kind of like an ambient light, but that's okay. Now I'm going to rotate ahead over and look at the entertainment section, aka the TV. The TV is actually pretty good quality, better than the last cruise I was on. And what's nice about this is you do have easy access to your ports. So if you wanted to connect, your computer or your tablet to stream some shows, to get a little nice movie night, entertainment night to yourself, this is a great ability here. The fact that you have that easy access there. Now, underneath here is a nice simple fridge. It does include obviously a preloaded bar fridge that mini bar that you can pay out of pocket to grab some nice snacks and drinks, easily accessible. We're using it to store a couple little things here, so something to be mindful of. And that tucks away nicely behind here. And actually, worth checking from a cold perspective, I know coldness is always a factor here. You can see here it's actually pretty cold. If I were to look at this drink here, you can probably see a little bit of that moisture condensation, so you know that this fridge is cold enough to store your drinks and belongings. Something that honestly, other cruise ships, sometimes their fridges are hit or miss. Now you do have a nice huge mirror here facing the bed, so that's a great ability to just look at yourself, make sure you're looking sharp before you go out there. But if you want to be able to see yourself sleep, you do have access to that as well. In this corner here, we do have just a simple chair with a table set up. This is nice because you can actually pull out a little cubicle seating thing over there, ottoman, and that will allow you to have a kind of a 2-person setup here if you wanted to engage in some more intimate dining. Now, near the bed, there is some more storage. to store some of your extra belongings, you know, typical things you would see on the side of the bed here. Nice way to probably store like your cables and maybe your extra electronics like your iPad and whatnot. We do have light switches here to be able to just turn on the lights on top of the bed, so that's great. And looks like there's one on the other side as well, so it's probably connected. Oh, actually, it actually is the light switch for all of the lights. So just a nice convenient way to be able to turn on and off the lights without leaving the bed. Same thing on the other side, except there is the phone connected to it. I didn't check if there is any outlets back here. I would imagine there might be some, but it might be really tucked back here. It looks like there's some outlets, but it might be really stowed behind the bed. So I don't have a definitive answer there, but back to I would say your vanity mirror and your vanity table, there are, you know, some 110 volts as well as your 220, and there's two outlets here, as well as a light switch to have an additional light for doing your makeup or, you know, doing your hair or whatever that may be. Your standard ice tray, a little bit more storage within your desk, and, you know, with this little ottoman here, you can probably squeeze a little backpack here for easy access if you want to be able to put something there. Now, got some really thick drawers, thick curtains here. These can get super dark. It actually, as you can see here, it's blackout curtains. So if you do have a balcony room, you will be able to get some really, really dark sleep if you're worried about not being woken up by the sun and whatnot. Now let's go ahead and step into the balcony. It might get a little loud because we are still at the port here. Right off here, you can see that the balcony has this, you know, window rail here to prevent yourself, to give you some protection around that. You do have a chair here as well, as well as a footrest, or perhaps one of those kind of like things you can store, like a little table there. Now, the interesting thing is that the divider between the balconies, it's not completely private. You can see here that there's kind of a little gap here. So you see your neighbors, so something to be considerate of. We're gonna go back inside here and close that here. Alrighty. Okay, so another thing to mention is the beds do have additional storage underneath the bed. I think I've been to a couple cruise ships where, you know, those are actually like blocked off so you don't lose things underneath the bed. This could get you some storage. We've actually stored a suitcase underneath there as well to kind of maximize the storage space in the room. Another thing to point out are the rooms are, you know, a magnetic or the metal base. If we brought these magnetic hooks, you could do things like that if you wanted to leave notes for your loved ones if they're kind of swinging by the room or whatnot. But yeah, that's an option here. You do have some coat hangers here for easy access as well. And we're gonna go inside the bathroom here. Now the bathroom is, I would say, probably a little bit bigger than the last cruise we went on in the Royal Caribbean. And you can see here there actually is legitimate tile in the bathroom, so that's kind of a nice luscious feel when you're stepping in. One thing I would point out is the shower arrangement, you know, like your standard shower, but it does use like these shower curtains instead of your standard, you know, like actual physical doors. So I can imagine potentially some water escaping if you're not, you know, fully overlapping of that. But it does give you a little extra space if you're a bit of a wider person. You need to kind of not feel so closed off in here. The nice cool part about that is the shower is detachable, so you know you do have a detachable shower head, good amount of storage on the sides, and a handle, accessible handlebar. So that's a nice option. From the headspace, I would say that I am about 6 feet with my hair, maybe like 6 feet right half mark with my hair. So if you're like 6'5", 6'6", you're probably going to have to be mindful of your head hitting the ceiling. Something to be considerate of, just because you're stepping a little bit higher into the bathroom. So that's, you know, one thing to note there in comparison to the actual main space. So something to be careful of if you are a really tall person. Standard hangers for your towels, decent amount of storage space, really wide shelves to be able to store all of your beauty and accessories there. We do have, you know, a garbage here underneath, as well as more storage underneath the actual sink. So this is actually probably the most storage I've ever seen in a cruise ship bathroom. And the finishes are actually much nicer than the last Royal Caribbean cruise that I went on. So like, you know, you actually have like real solid countertops or sink countertops, compared to like some of the more cheaper materials that you would see on a cruise ship. The mirror does stretch out really wide. You have that additional lighting there on top, right above the mirrors, and then an outlet right up here to be able to plug in your hairdresser, your hair dryer. Alrighty, so I'm gonna step out here so you can get a better view of the entire bathroom from a, you know, a length perspective. I would, my foot here is exactly about a foot, so you can imagine 1, 2, 3, about maybe 4 feet long. So that gives you a good idea of space there. And then even from the main room, you know, we're talking about 4 feet here, an additional 4 feet here, so let's say 8 feet, or even a little bit more, maybe 9 feet at most, so across. So you do have plenty of space compared to most rooms, or pretty standard size, I would actually say. Great, so that is a quick look at a balcony room on the Magnifica. I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope that answers some questions. If you do have any additional questions, feel free to leave a comment. Leave your questions in the comment. I'll try my best to answer as many as possible. I hope you all enjoy your cruise and keep on traveling. Take care all. Bye.